Good morning and welcome to this morning's live Q&A. So this morning's live is all about framing and hanging your artworks or pictures or family photos or whatever it is that you might want to put up on your walls. I know so many people have been doing big clear outs. We've certainly gotten messages from so many of you that say you've got piles and piles of either artworks or family pictures, but they're just sitting on the floor rather than being up on your walls. So hopefully today we will be able to give you some ideas, some inspiration and some advice on how to tackle these pictures and get them up on your walls so you can start enjoying them. And I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Angel Denis, who I've known for a very long time now, and his wonderful company Frame Experts, who look after all of our artwork. So for all of the projects that we do, for me personally, he's just the most wonderful guy, it's the most wonderful company, and he has a wealth of experience when it comes to hanging pictures and framing them up. So I'm going to invite Angel now to join me. There we go. Oh, here we go. There we are. Angel, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Can you hear me well, Denis?
Yes, perfectly. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
No, that's no problem. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I've been watching some of your videos, and I said, I think one day I'll get an invitation to the master.
I was ironing out all the kinks before I brought you on, Angel. These live videos, they're not without their glitches at times with Wi-Fi and things. So, yeah, hopefully today will run smoothly.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
The lads are working away in the background. They're in the workshop, so you might hear
Okay.
of the saw when it comes into action. But other than that, it should be okay. We're not open
Great.
another hour, so it will be perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Fantastic. Well, we'll try and get all of your tips and advice before you open up. So I guess, Angel, we've had loads and loads of questions. Just people, first of all, saying that they've got so many pictures, particularly family photos and things, that they're desperate to get up on the wall. But I guess they're nervous about hanging it. And it's funny, I was out with my sister yesterday, who has got some beautiful pieces, and particularly family pictures, like stunning family pictures. But she's nervous about hanging them because, as you well know, if they're not hung properly, they just don't look well. So where should people start if they're looking to get these things up on the wall?
I think, especially when it comes to photographs and family photographs, it's always in a more intimate area,
Yeah,
that's for
yeah,
starters. People tend to hang these photographs in their bedrooms,
yeah,
maybe the landing upstairs,
yes.
these are kind of more personal to most people, unless there is what we like to call a centerpiece, which is
Mm-hmm.
like it was taken in a professional studio with with lights and really nice. Then it's okay to hang like in the sitting room where
Mm-hmm.
that is your kind of centerpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but all pictures usually they have more like a sentimental value to the people, but
Mm-hmm.
don't usually keep well. Photographs do fade, and sometimes the frame is not the best. It's old, and that's why more intimate areas like the bedroom or the landing, maybe upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
is more advisable to hang. But that'd be my recommendation. As I said, unless it's a recent studio portrait that
Exactly.
needs to be hung like
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
in your scene.
And then, Angel, when it comes to framing them, like I know we've all, these graduation pictures you might get or whatever they might be, and they come sort of pre-mounted in those brown mounts with the goldy rim and stuff, and
Yeah,
people just pop those into frames. And I
yeah,
mean, all you see is the mount and the frame, and really the focus needs to be the picture. So when it comes to framing photographs, what's your advice?
yeah. I think yes, yeah, especially you mentioned those. They're usually black mounts with kind of a gold lines.
Yeah.
They're not the best because, you know, even though it looks well when they hand it to you,
Yeah.
if you put it into frame, first of all, it's usually not mounted, so it's not flat mounted. So
Okay.
photographs, they react to heat and to condensation in the air, so they do kind of start to ripple inside the frame.
Okay. Okay.
And because of the luster, it gives that kind of unfinished look. It's not nicely nice and flat. It's not mounted flat. So what I would recommend with all this, put just a plain off-white mount and something simple. I think
Yeah.
nowadays, when it comes to picture framing, I think less is more.
Mm.
Usually, what I do is I put an off-white border, and then just a slim kind of 10 millimeter or 15 millimeter frame, because they're usually very small. They're usually 10 by 8, 8 by 6, or 7 by 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so keep it simple. I think the off-white. I think the flat mounting is important on photographs. Because they do when you see them against the light, you see all these ripples and it's distracting and it doesn't look nice, you know.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Properly mounted with the right window mount and a simple frame, that's all you need.
Brilliant. And then, Angel, you mentioned photographs fading. Are there different kinds of glasses you can get to
Yeah,
stop that happening?
there have been a lot of improvements in relation to anti-reflective glass. I don't know if you remember this I remember in the 90s and even 10 years ago, the anti-reflective glass used to be kind of a diffuse, kind of grainy glass.
Yes, it had a texture almost. Yes.
And
Yeah.
photographers didn't like that because, you know, their photographs were so punchy and so nice, especially portrait photographers. And by using that glass, you just take away all the punchiness, and it's just, you know,
Yes.
it wasn't an option, you know.
Yeah.
But now they've improved a lot. They brought out this museum glass, which is UV protection, is anti-reflective,
Yeah.
and especially on photographs, it just is the glass to use. I mean, it's so popular here. It's a no-brainer. Apart from that, photography and anything that's printed fades with natural light, you know, in time. And the UV protection properties of these glasses help with the fading as well. So
Okay.
slowly, all the materials except the actual wood are acid-free, and you know they really make the whole piece qualifying as conservation. So it keeps well in time. It keeps well. It keeps, you
Okay.
know, the photograph doesn't fade, the mount doesn't fade, and there's only 10% reflection. I'll show you something very quickly.
Yeah, please, Angel, that'd be great.
So so this is a these two have the normal glass in here. And from this side, on the other side is anti-reflective glass.
Oh my goodness. It
You
looks
can
like
see
there's nothing there.
reflection of
That's
the
incredible, the
screen.
difference.
The difference
Yeah,
is unbelievable.
it
There's
is.
a
Yeah.
little bit. There's a 10% reflection. People, you know, expect not to have any reflection at all, but it just is reduced so much that is, you know, for especially on dark and black prints or photograph, black and whites,
Yes.
you know, you can really see the artwork or the photograph, not the reflection, you know.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Even
Yeah. Yeah.
when I'm taking a picture to post, I use anti-reflective glass because it's not me then in the reflection, you know, taking the picture,
Very good.
you know.
Okay.
So
Yes. Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
good. So the anti-reflective glass, you can see there, is
Beautiful. Yeah.
it's a very good product to use, you know, and
That's wonderful.
we do recommend people to use it a lot, you know.
Great.
This photograph here, it's we use anti-reflective glass on this, and you can barely see any reflection.
Yeah,
The,
that's amazing. The difference is incredible, really, Angel.
yeah,
And then does that offer protection then as well as being anti-reflective? Does
exactly.
it protect it?
This one in particular is 70% UV protection. Okay, so as long as you don't hang it in the conservatory where the light will shine directly on it, it should protect it for 100 years. You know, at least there is a.
My goodness. Okay.
Yeah, and there is another one that is 90% UV protection.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Amazing.
for more kind of you know, for more valuable, say, artwork that's, you know, we recently framed 1976 Jim Fitzpatrick's original, and that required like a lot of special materials, you know.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
We use rice glue to hinge the image, acid-free boards, the UV protection 90% on the glass. So it was such an amazing piece of art, you know. So it needed something like that. So everything was special, you know.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And all of this is just to enhance the artwork. And I think that's the secret, isn't it? It's not about the frame, even though frames is what you do, but
Yeah, exactly.
all you're trying to do is enhance that piece of art. And I think often that gets lost. You know, there's too much going on.
What we don't want is to, go too heavy with the frames that all you can see is, I mean, there are really nice frames, but if they're wide and ornate, they could take away from the image. And I'll show you a little sample, if I may, of something that,
Please, yeah.
yeah, so for example, this is a frame that came in for reframing, right?
Okay.
You can see, more in the light there. It's
Yeah.
on like the flowers, and, but if they use normal glass on this, and also the scoop frame is like a light gray, and then there's nothing wrong with the frame, and it's been there for maybe 20 years.
Yes, yeah.
And trends do change, trends, materials, yourself, it's always changing. But it looks that, the image itself is maybe lost, it's.
Yes.
So what I've done is I've taken this piece, and made a tray frame that we like to call. This is a little frame that goes around it.
Wow, beautiful.
A finish. Place that over a mount board and float it. So you can see the same image. It looks so much different, and this is something that you could hang in the spaces that you create in Optimise. These kind of modern spaces.
Yeah,
really well designed. So I'll just have the two here.
The two together. The difference is incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the same image.
Yeah.
There.
Beautiful. And what's lovely as well, Angel, what you've done is you've created a much larger border around the artwork. So, you've created a larger artwork, and I think that's something people don't think about either. Even if you have small pieces, you can go really big with the space around. So
it's all about giving the space that the artwork needs. I always say that if there's too much around it, or maybe I remember the mounts were really important 10 years ago again. People were, they wanted to match the color of, pick a color in the image.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
In the mount, and then put another kind of, it could be maybe a blue with a black line, a double mount.
Yeah.
So it's lovely because it goes really well with the image, but it makes the whole thing just too heavy, and it gets lost. The image itself gets lost between all this. So we simplify things. I think less is more again, keeping it off-white, a simple frame, with the right space, in the right space. I think it makes a huge difference,
Yeah, it's timeless, isn't it? Like it will last the test of time, really.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
No, that's great. And Angel, when it comes to the glass, like, are there instances where, say, for example, if you had a painting or something, you wouldn't use glass, so you could have the frame but not necessarily have any glass? Or if the picture was very big or something, to cut down on weight, what's your advice there?
Well, glass is heavy. Glass is heavy. It probably, I always say, is the heaviest material in the frame, is the glass. It's and on a large piece, it makes a huge difference. Like if you have something that's very big, like I have a Joby Hiki there with anti-reflective. Let me just turn the camera. You see the towers?
Lovely.
That, for example, it makes the whole frame weight more, and also for safety, we normally use the 2mm glass on smaller pieces. On larger pieces, we have to go up to 3mm. So yes, usually, and the other thing is you know, where it's gonna go. Like sometimes we love to have these lovely paintings in the kitchen, and the kitchen is an area that is more, is all the time you get condensation in the winter, especially, you know, we don't tend to open the windows. The extractor sometimes struggling to get all the, so
Yeah.
it's more prone to protect it better. We tend to recommend anti-reflective glass on oil paintings or something like that.
Okay.
Other than that, we leave it with no glass. You know, original artwork, usually if it's oil, the artists, they varnish, you know, over it.
Yes.
There's really good satin varnishes now that don't shine too much and protect, so you can actually clean it, you know, properly. But if there's extra protection required, then the anti-reflective glass would be an option, but not normal.
Perfect.
I wouldn't recommend normal lamps, you know.
With a painting, yeah, because we got one question there, Angel, just how would you frame an oil on canvas? So, because I've seen it done different ways. I've seen it a bit like that box frame that you showed there, or yeah, what do you feel looks well?
It depends. People do buy art abroad, and then when they bring it in, they bring it without the stretcher bar, so they bring it rolled up in a tube.
Yes.
That is, you know, we have to see if it's already stretched in the stretcher bar.
Okay.
If it's rolled up, you know. Take into consideration that when we stretch it, we pin at the back, so we lose on the sides. It goes around the sides, and we pin these things, the canvases from the back, so we lose a little bit of the image there. The floaters are really popular, and it's the same technique as I just showed you there. Once it's stretched, it's like a box, you know, that can be mounted over a board and give it the right spacing around it, and then the finishing frame. That's all you need. Some people like the canvas wrap, you know, where it's only stretched around it. The side of the canvas is slightly thicker, so it looks well, like a block.
Okay.
Goes on the wall, but 90% of, you know, this work come back here later on for an outer frame that will really finish it off, you know. So
really, that's interesting. Okay.
It looks well, like a block. You know, the idea is that it will have a finishing edge to it.
Yes.
And the frame is that, essentially that. It's a finishing edge.
Yes.
To, and there's combinations of moldings that can be used. As long as it's not too heavy again, you know, too overpowering. I think, you know, simple. We have a range of frames that really suits oil paintings. And we don't limit ourselves to what we have in terms of tones and colors. We have our Dulux catalog. And, you know, if there's a project that needs to be kind of sprayed or painted, you know, to match.
Oh, fabulous. Okay.
You know, we have, you tell me you want to do it with, say, a dark gray, and we can paint a bare wood into dark gray and have it exactly the way you want it.
Great. Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. Brilliant. And Angel, another question that we got was somebody who has a very large artwork, but it's got a black mount. So they really like the frame, really like the artwork, but the mount is just, it's too dark. Again, like you were saying, it's taken away from the artwork. How easy is it for them to bring that into you and just get the mount changed?
Yeah. We do a lot of, you know, even though we are frame makers, you know, if there's something, and there is that element of sentimental value also on frames. You know, people like their frames that in their grandmother's house. You know, they don't necessarily throw it away. So if there are materials that you can save and just say keep the frame, but maybe change the mount, make a huge difference. I mean, the mount is essential to any piece that you frame. You know, you put a frame straight to the artwork or to the photograph. It's never needs that spacing. And if that spacing is the wrong color, like black, for example, it just offsets the whole thing. And you'll be amazed at the difference it makes to change, to remove that black mount. We can keep, we can do that for anyone. And just replace the mount, maybe recommend the anti-reflective glass. Instead of spending on a new frame, we can suggest maybe add the anti-reflective glass, the new mount, and the whole thing just rebound. You know, it's like painting a room. You know, that's changes the whole thing.
It does. It totally transforms it. Absolutely. And even I find, you know, we've had pieces where maybe they wouldn't have had a mount and had a really simple frame, and literally giving those a mount and making the frame and the whole piece larger just brings it to life completely as well. So yeah, no, that's fantastic. And then, Angel, because I know a lot of people love to tackle the hanging themselves, but there's nothing worse than a badly hung picture. And I know you have a wall of what not to do or something. Can you talk us through that maybe? Just to give people some tips if they're hanging themselves.
It's actually that's becoming more popular, you know, for people to contract us to go and do the installations, you know.
Yeah.
It's really popular nowadays. The amount of times that we have to, maybe people collect some really nice stuff and then they bring it back the next week. Actually, one came in just yesterday, and you know the frame had fallen and the glass is broken. So hanging is very important. I mean, you paid for something; it looks really nice. Yeah. Everybody likes it, and you know if it falls, it's gonna break, and there's no there's no options there, but we can improve the hanging, and that you're right. There are, you know, the usual solid walls, you know, solid walls. Solid walls. I'll show you something here. I always keep this here because, as I said to you earlier, the glass puts weight on the frames, and even in a small frame, you'd be surprised how heavy it could be, you know, for things like this. To add to the back of those and push it to the wall and expect that to hold it, you know. I mean, these are stuff for kind of really small stuff and lighter objects.
What are they, Angel? Are they the kind of the
It's like a little Velcro, so you peel off and it's like sticky at the back. Okay. And I keep this in here because I recommend people not to use it on certain items that are maybe more valuable or heavier, you know. You know, the wall needs to be really sound and dry, not dust. And it has to kind of have maybe instead of 2, maybe you can use 6 to reinforce really well. But I think my suggestion on solid walls is the old drilling, you know, take the drill out, use the plug. Yes. A screw, okay, and push the screw so that you don't see the thread anymore, so that it won't interfere with the string. Sometimes it could be so sharp that it could actually warn the string and eventually fall, and like that. But for all those people that are very fortunate to have all their interior walls lined with these plaster boards, they're lucky because with just a Phillips head screwdriver, you can use these plugs. They have a thread already, and it's like their point are really sharp, so it goes in really easily on the plasterboard. Very good. Okay. It gives a very nice kind of Phillips head cross for a screw to go in. So once the screw is in there, this could hold, you know, up to maybe 7 kilos. You know. Wow. Okay. On its own, but for larger pieces, we recommend to put these 2 together like this, maybe a 30 centimeter separation. So the string go onto one, go straight and fall from the next one. So the two are kind of supporting. And there's no harm in using these for also small little things and the little hooks. Brilliant. Yes. These are really popular, and the amazing thing with this is that, you know, for any weight, it's holding it downwards like that. So you actually pull it out like this way, just with your hands. But for this to go down is nearly impossible. It really is. It's really effective, kind of these little things. I always recommend them for lighters. Brilliant. Great. So any hardware store would sell that sort of stuff, Angel, wouldn't it? If people are listening. Absolutely. Yeah. And we have a few here. So if somebody says mentions hanging, or say, how am I going to hang this? What do you recommend? I say, look, I can give you this. You know, there's and the plug, and we supply. If somebody mentions hanging, we supply them with this free of charge. So okay, that's wonderful. We have.
Brilliant. Okay. And then one other question, because I know you framed some lovely things for me over the years, like things my granny had made, things that I'd grown up with. And I know you were telling me a lovely story just about something that came into you to be framed and really just highlights that you can frame anything. So do you want to chat to us about that?
Yeah,
Because I know you.
yeah. I think memorabilia is we really put value on things ourselves, and
Hmm.
things that you mentioned yourself in a conversation last week, and those embroideries that your grandmother did are very precious to you.
Yeah, yeah,
They've always been there. You've seen them since you were a child,
yeah.
and now having them reframed in your own house
Hmm.
is ideal. It's something really nice. And this
Hmm.
person came in about 2 weeks ago, and then he says, I just want to make sure you were open, and he went back out, and he came back in with, he said, unusual request, and I'll show you this. He says, I have this carpet I'd like to frame.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
and and I said, okay,
Stopping
that's fine.
myself.
I mean, we have framed some 3D objects. I mean, we framed Katie Taylor's boxing gloves and
Really
football
fabulous.
boots. There's always
Yeah.
this request and these kind of valuables. But the carpets, we've never done that before. But
Hmm.
and then so Terence is his name. So Terence said to me, these carpets were in my grandmother's house, and only now it's been taken away because
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the house. Maybe they were sold or renovation work, maybe. Uh,
Hmm.
but he said, look, I took this because I as baby was probably crawling over
My
this,
goodness. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's so much of it just connects me to the atmosphere of their sitting room. So
Yeah.
special to me, that
Yeah.
I'd like to have 2 frames done for me and my sister, and 4 others for my cousins because they were also kind of they grew up in this house, and
Yeah.
that alone is like there's a lot of that's very special for him. So
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
2 different carpets. So what I decided was, okay, put these 2 side to side section
Hmm.
carpets. We
Hmm.
put anti-reflective glass and a combination of molding that is more is will be contemporary but almost not too contemporary, more like a classic look. And I'll show you
Okay.
both here.
Yes, I'd love to see it. Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
So this is,
The
I
carpet,
mean,
yeah.
the bring in the light a little bit more there.
And so that's incredible because I think, anyone sort of will remember the 70s and sort of early 80s carpets, but to see them like that is really remarkable because,
And you know what?
yeah, amazing.
The colors on this itself, this could be
Yeah.
any. Uh, these colors could be in any kind of modern artwork. At the moment, I'm
Yes.
creating a lot
Yes.
of abstracts that are kind of combinations of colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
To have these 2 pieces of carpet like this, it's not only beautiful looking, but there's a lot of sentimental value to there.
It's a huge meaning. Yeah, no, that is really, and such an amazing idea. It's fabulous because most people just rip those carpets out. It's the first thing they do. They're like, oh,
Or,
but for
or,
him,
or people might have, say,
yeah, it's
their,
amazing. Amazing.
their children's clothes when they were a baby, and they're
Yes,
just
yes.
there. We have done that, for example, where
Mm,
somebody's needed some like a grandmother needing something for the grandchildren, and then
hmm
10 years later or 15, 20 years later, they decide to get it framed, and it looks really nice. And if it's
mm.
nicely done, as a framing piece, it's already beautiful. But when you know
Hmm.
the meaning behind all this, it makes it more special again.
It does.
So
It
that's
does.
what it's all about. It's making
Yeah.
things that are special, being able to display, and then it's a topic of conversation. It would be a topic
Yeah.
of conversation for every visitor in their house.
Yeah. Well, that in particular is incredible.
The cousins coming in, seeing this carpet.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
So, so that
That's
was,
wonderful. That's yeah,
you know.
absolutely
So we decided to go
fabulous.
for like a green gold on the inside, and then we can
Okay.
see
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
it's like distressed kind of gold there. So
Yes.
that matches, the gold, the bit of a green gold in the picture, well, in the
Oh,
carpet.
yeah.
And then
Beautiful.
we hand stain this, and we give it a satin kind of varnish.
Yeah.
So the shape is quite classic, and that's why I said, look, it's a combination of modern and classic,
Yes. Yeah.
on the background. So this is the piece. So it looks, and I'm really, really happy with the way this turned out.
No, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And what a wonderful idea. What a wonderful idea. So incredible.
So
Yeah. And it just shows you.
don't be shy to bring. It could be anything, but if it's special to you, we can pray.
You can frame it. But that is such a wonderful thing for people to know because, you might have these things that have sentimental value, but they're in a box or they're in a cupboard or they're worse up in the attic and you just don't get to enjoy them. So,
We tend to hide this, or not to hide, but we tend to conservate this a bit better. We tend to put it in a very safe place, and that
yeah.
usually is, in the very back of, a box in the shed or in the attic. It's, you know, people know that it's safe there, but
Yeah.
something like that could be also forgotten. Some people find stuff like that years later,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
decide to.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it should be displayed somewhere in the house.
Definitely.
There's always a room that's for
Yeah.
these type of things.
No, for sure. And the lovely thing, Angel, is you're protecting it. So it's going to keep it really, really safe. Whereas,
That's it.
yeah, otherwise it could get damaged. So no, it's great. Really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's all about
Fabulous.
ideas. I think in the consultation process, when people bring something, that's why some people email, say how much it's going to be to frame something this size and that size. And it doesn't usually work that way. I mean, I can give estimates like that. I can reply, say, an estimate would be this much in relation to the size. But the combination of materials, I could recommend even the glass, the anti-reflective glass could have a massive impact on the cost of the price, because even though it's really good, it couldn't be compared to the price of a normal glass. It's a new technology. The prices actually have come down a little bit, but it still
Yeah.
have a big impact. It's about 30% extra for anti-reflective glass.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there is something. So there is that element of it as well, but. So it could be done. It can be done, and I always recommend for people to bring the stuff over here. Have a chat. At the moment, we're doing a lot of appointments. I think it's better because I can give them my time. We can go through things. We have a 40-minute appointment and go through it, and that in the end you won't be disappointed when you collect, when you see it framed. And I'm guaranteed Terence is going to be thrilled when he sees this. He's going to collect later on today. But he's going to be very happy, and I
No,
just
it's very
because
exciting.
we've taken everything into consideration, and
Yeah.
it's all about the way it works for us is I recommend things that go well with the artwork or the image, maybe the color of the image, something like that. But the second factor that we need to know is a little bit of the ambience of the room they're going to hang this into, So I do ask, what about the floor? Is like a oak floor, maybe wooden tiles, or what color is the wall, things like that, so that it goes well with the room as well, not just with the image,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one thing that I really like about Optimise is that when you send your orders, you've thought all
We
about
thought about it. Yeah. Well, we would, but honestly, and I talked with Catherine O'Riordan from So Fine a couple of weeks back, and we would often design our whole schemes around a piece of art. So it is so important that you take the decor into consideration with the framing because it all has to fit. It's all
It happens to me
going with
many
the
times.
flow.
Like I do the installations for the show houses, that you do. So when I go there, when you pick the artwork yourself, you pick something that comes to us. We don't see the actual room or It's only when I go and deliver and install this, I realize that there's a little bit of the color scheme of the carpet kind of flows into the image in the frame. And he has, the texture in the sofa, they're all connected and creates this really nice atmosphere. So that's why I think it's very important that whatever people like or buy, that we do something that connects with the ambience in their homes. That's the second part. And there's no way of knowing that. I just need to ask, what color is the wall, and people go, it's like a light gray. It's actually a very strong blue color. I remember it. And that changes completely what I could recommend. So it's important for me to know all these things. As well. But again, some people already know more or less what they look for, and some people are good with interiors, and they say, look, I want an off-white frame on this, will work. And
yeah. No, it is really important, because I know, different people are different. Some people have a more eclectic taste, others are much more pared back. So that'll have a big impact. And then the consultations, Angel, if people want to book in, they just book in, or can people just turn up at the studio, or is it by appointment?
I think to give us a call is the most important.
Okay.
And the emails, I always reply to the emails and give them, possible dates for them to come in, and like that we organize.
Okay, brilliant. And then just so finally, because I'm conscious you'll be opening up soon, but just because again, we got a lot of questions about people are anxious to get stuff up on the wall. So in terms of heights, we had a question there about, how to hang a collection of artworks. And I know you do so many installations. What's your rule of thumb if people are hanging a piece on the wall in terms of the height it should go at and stuff?
Yeah, there's a thing that I always say is the eye level. And eye level is not the same for everyone. I mean, there are people that are really tall, and so the thing to consider is the eye level so the artwork or the frame needs to be kind of your eye level in the middle of the height of the frame. That is a good height, in general, but things do, like in the show houses, for example, we sometimes hang stuff over the headboard. And the headboards nowadays are really kind of this extended kind of
big,
big. So even if it's like a 10 centimeter separation from the top of the headboard and the bottom of the frame, that's enough, and it looks really well. And you'll see that people will see in your posts when you post something in a bedroom. And those frames are actually higher than eye level most of the time, But it's okay because, having in the fireplace is the other kind of other feature that always offsets the eye level rule, Apart from that, most frames will hang really well at eye level. As I said, level is different from people to people, but it's usually 1.7 meters, 1.5, or sometimes 1.8 meters as well. So,
okay, brilliant. And then I've somebody asking a question about, you might know this, picture light that doesn't need to be connected to the mains power. Do you come across those? I know IKEA definitely do wall lights that you can just plug in. Have you seen anything, Angel, for lighting pictures?
I have seen some LED strips. In like a chrome or a kind of a brass finish, and they look really nice. They're very easy to fit. The only thing with those is that you have to reach over to them to turn it on and off. And if you have, say, three lights or three really nice stuff, you have to go at nighttime and turn this off.
Turning everything on,
So that element, hotels use it because they can keep it on for 24/7. Because they're LED, their batteries, like maybe once a year you change them. What I would recommend is for picture lights is to connect it to the main power, so you have a switch that you turn on and off. I think that's is the best kind of form of lighting a picture. The main switch.
Fantastic. Well, Angel, thank you so much for all that fabulous inspiration and sharing those beautiful artworks with us. It's really lovely to see.
It's a pleasure. I hope it will be the first of many.
Definitely.
There's always things that we forget. When we have this kind of live videos. So we might do something again in the future. I'd be delighted to.
Great.
you know.
No,
And
fabulous.
one thing that I noticed, for example, is I should have had a light in front of my face to kind of, because it's a bit dark, I can see myself a little bit kind of in the shade there a little bit.
Oh, don't worry. Well, look, I think everybody got so much out of it, Angel. So thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you so
Thanks
much.
everybody for joining.
Take
Bye
care.
bye. Bye 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 bye.